Right, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, and salutation to you brothers, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Okay, so I have another video from based off this article that I found on blacklistednews.com. It says the drowning middle class in one chart, published February 24th, 2020. Okay, the year of prophecy. Chris Minahan, Information Liberation. And this is a piece of information that I just wanted to share. As you can see on the screen, you see a chart that says major household expenditures versus median income. And there's a chart right here. So you have a large amount of money going to housing, healthcare, transportation, and college, which is listed on this chart. This is Americans over the past 35 years have had their effective incomes dramatically eroded due to the surging cost of college, healthcare insurance, housing, and transportation, according to a new study from the Manhattan Institute. And you didn't need the Manhattan Institute to understand what's going on. This is what has taken place over a 35-year period. Housing costs wasn't that expensive back in the 90s. Now housing costs is going to be a large percentage of your living income. And this is what the elites have done to make it harder for people to focus on the issues at hand that's going, and people are focused on survival, okay, because the money's funny. You use the Federal Reserve note. Now let's go to real quick before I get into this article. I want to bring out a few precepts that I had. The first precept that I want to bring out is Haggai 1:6, and this applies to you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. I'm going to start at 5, Haggai 1:5. It says, Now therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag of holes. And the bag of holes, okay, consists of some of this stuff right here and other things. They didn't mention the cost of food, okay, the cost of clothing, so on and so forth. But a large chunk of your income goes to housing, okay. It goes to taxes. That's another thing that Esau takes from you. He takes taxes out of your check, and he raises those taxes. And then the price, the dollar, the Federal Reserve note is devaluing by the day. So you're using a fiat currency, okay, which is basically a belief system, okay. It says a dramatic divergence between data and experience is confounding American policy debates. The data seems to show that households have attained unprecedented prosperity, and wages have, at worst, held their own against inflation, or at best risen much faster than prices. By conventional measures, material living standards everywhere in the income distribution are at all-time highs, and technological progress continues to improve them. Yet many jobs able to support a family in the past no longer do. Millennials are in worse financial shape than were those of Generation X at the same time, who themselves had fallen behind the baby boomers. The story appears irreconcilable. Irreconcilable. Yeah, because you have the Generation X, but before the Generation X, you had the baby boomers, which the baby boomers got a lot of the benefits after the New Deal, because they were able to partake in a booming economy. Okay, then you had Generation X were the children of them, okay, which they were a little bit of partakers, but they came into the phase of jobs going overseas. Okay, so a lot of them lost jobs, a lot of them lost wealth. But then you got this the millennials, which is the generation now, and they don't really have anything to look forward to. Okay, even back during the time when you went to school, you were told that by the time the millennials reached the time that the baby boomers reached, which is retirement age, they won't have enough for Social Security. Okay, so public policy in conjunction with Esau using the Federal Reserve System is basically showing this society to be in a decline. Okay, and it's not going to come back. It says the explanation is this: inflation does not measure affordability. Key assumptions built into inflation indices for the purpose of measuring the underlying economy, shalakia, wide upward pressure on prices are different from the often counter to the key assumptions necessary for assessing the economic choices and constraints faced by households. When analysis use inflation adjustments to compare household resources over time, they have chosen the wrong vantage point and their view is obscured. So basically, he's saying that these economists, they base their assumptions of inflation and economic factors and indicators, okay, on something that's really not taking place in the everyday common construct of somebody that's really trying to guide a house and keep keep themselves afloat. Okay, but you see, that's how Esau fudges the numbers and makes things look good when they don't look good. Okay, when they're not really good. It says economists and families see three things differently. It says quality adjustments. So it gets into this. It says risk sharing, social norms. All right, we're gonna keep on reading down. Cause I don't want to make this video too long. Right here it says, contrary to what our ruling oligarchs tell us, it's not just in our heads that a man today has to work 2 jobs to make as much as his father made 30 years ago. It says, on top of being systematically discriminated against. It says, popular perception is correct. Lead author Orion Cass said on Twitter, in 1985, the typical male worker could cover a family of 4. 4's major expenditures. So in 1985, a man could have a family of 4. That's 2 children, him and the wife. Okay, on it says on 30 weeks of salary, and that's housing, healthcare, and transportation and education. It says by 2018, it took 53 weeks, which is a problem. There being 52 weeks in a year, so that same family of 4, okay, can't even cover the expenditures, okay, in 1 year, which is 52 weeks. It would take them 53 weeks. So this is Esau Edom, man. This is his society, okay. Going down, here's some more articles. Here's some more charts. Goes into healthcare premiums because the price of healthcare is skyrocketing. Okay, and you have all of these hospitals becoming rich. And then here goes some more charts. And then here's the related articles. But I wanted to bring this out real quick. Let me bring this next scripture out real quick. This is Proverbs 20 and 23. It says, diverse weights are an abomination unto the Lord, and a false balance is not good. And that false balance is that Federal Reserve note. Okay. Esau Edom. Okay. Next precept that I want to bring out. This is Jeremiah 22 and 13. It says, woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness. And that's Esau, because his system is based off of a complete wickedness, usury, okay, and unjust weights, okay, and lies. It says, in his chambers by wrong, that useth his neighbor's service without wages. And did not he bring the Israelites over here, in particular the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, okay, to serve slavery and use his neighbor's service without wages, and giveth him not for his work, okay? So the scriptures say destruction for that, okay? This is Sirach 34 and 22. It says, he that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder. And that's Esau Edom, okay? And that's why his system looks like this. Now let's go to another scripture. I had a scripture on it. What was it? Okay. It's in Sirach. Since we're in Sirach, let's go to Sirach 10. This is Sirach 10 and this is Sirach 10 and verse. Yeah, it's up here real quick. This is Sirach 10, I think it is verse 8. Yeah, it's Sirach 10 and 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, okay, injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's how Esau Edom got his kingdom, by unrighteous dealings, okay, making treaties with the tribe of Gad and not fulfilling them. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, a lot of people have been injured, okay, have died, dealing with Esau Edom and his corporations and his system. It says, and riches got by deceit, that Federal Reserve note. Okay, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Okay, so the kingdom of heaven is going to be translated from you Edomites, you so-called white people, to the Israelites, or the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, according to the Bible. So yeah, like I said, here's go some related articles. Average U.S. family can't afford a home in 71% of the country. Okay, 63% of all U.S. jobs created since 1990 have been low-wage jobs. What globalism did was to transfer the U.S. economy to China. Okay, that's why the millennials are getting the short end of the stick. See, these are all related articles. Middle class death spiral. Consumers have never been in more debt, and bankruptcies are surging. Okay, in which that brings me to real quick, Habakkuk, the book of Habakkuk. Yeah, this is the biggest debtors nation in the history of the world. America is Babylon the Great. Here it goes right here. Habakkuk 2 and 6, it says, shall not all these take up a parable, talking about the other nations, against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now the word clay goes back to that Hebrew word abatyat, which means debt. So he ladens himself with thick clay, which is debt. Okay, and part of that debt, the middle class have taken on that debt, and there's no paying back that debt. That's why these people are going to go be microchipped. And America is a corporation, okay, and this is a corporation that's in bankruptcy, and it's going to be liquidated and ultimately destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. So not only is the middle class going to drown, okay, or is drowning right now, pretty soon there won't be a middle class. They'll be rich and poor, okay, and but not only is the middle class drowning, pretty soon they're going to be drowning in the lake of fire. The majority of our people, 2/3 of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American, all the other nations, the heathen, and so-called white man, Esau Edom, okay? Because those nuclear missiles are going to destroy this place. If you read Revelation 18, the nation is going to be crying because they're not going to be able to make any money, okay? But with that, let me give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Akakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutation to you brothers that's teaching this word in truth and sincerity. Until the next episode, shalom.